Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news at 6, where we get you the day's top developing stories. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. An Indian engineer is shot dead in Kansas City in the US. 2 others are injured. Police arrest former US Navy man who shouted terrorist as he shot the victims. After the strategic dialogue with India, Chinese ambassador says resolving international issues will take time. Cautions that neither country should try to rush things. Campaigning for the 5th phase of Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections, Prime Minister Modi, Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav and Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi addressed various rallies across the state. And on the second day of the first test against Australia, Indian batsman falter get bundled out for just 105 runs. Australia finished the day with a lead of 298 runs with 6 wickets still in hand. Our top story, China said that resolving international issues with India will take time. It also cautioned that neither country should rush into conclusions. 2 days after the conclusion of the strategic dialogue between the two countries in Beijing, China's ambassador has said that both the countries should focus on just strengthening relationships.
It's China's first official reaction after a strategic dialogue with India in Beijing on Wednesday. China says delicate issues like Masood Azhar and India's entry into the NSG will take time in getting resolved. It also said that the strategic dialogue that has restarted will decide the direction of the relations between the two countries.
China's support to India and to every country on the anti-terrorist matter is always be there. So something in detail, the discussion is still going on and it takes time.
And what do you think about NSG, sir?
Yes, it's the same. It's the same.
The Chinese ambassador said he was aware that media in both the nations prefer to focus on the tensions, when in fact the two nations should concentrate on cooperation.
Focus on these 2 issues. These 2 emerging issues are very important, but more important is the bilateral cooperation. The correspondent, I wish you can also cover some positive matters, some progress.
Experts feel that China's position is exclusively determined by its self-interest and that it has not deviated from it even one bit after strategic dialogue. In this context, they question the very significance of the dialogue.
I can't see what is the basis of a strategic dialogue with China, because in a sense China has for long been our strategic adversary. It has armed China, Pakistan with nuclear weapons, with missile technology that continues today, and the reason why they oppose our membership of the NSG is they have tagged it along with that of Pakistan. The reason why they are opposing the designation of Masood Azhar is because it will put Pakistan in the dock.
In this context, the Chinese ambassador's statement clearly reflects the inflexibility of Beijing's policy. In fact, it has refused to even acknowledge India's concern on China-Pakistan economic corridor. Given the state of affairs, India is holding the talks on these issues will continue. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And now let's get you all the latest updates coming in from the ongoing assembly elections. Campaigning for the 5th phase of Uttar Pradesh Assembly polls for 52 seats spread over 11 districts will end on Saturday. The campaigning will come to a close at 5 p.m. on Saturday and polling will take place on the 27th of February. The districts going to polls in the 5th phase includes Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi's Lok Sabha constituency, Amethi. 1.84 crore voters are expected to exercise their franchise at 12,791 polling stations and 19,167 polling booths in this phase. All right, already we've seen 4 phases that have gone on, and at the moment no indication as to who is really on top of what's going on. Campaigning, of course, like we say, has been going on in full strength by the 3 major parties or the 3 major fronts that we see. One, of course, the BJP being spearheaded, the campaigning by the Prime Minister and BJP President Amit Shah as well. We've been seeing pretty much every day campaign rallies that are being held across the state, depending on which particular constituencies are going to polls. on each phase. The other side, we also have BSP Chief Mayawati, who's been, of course, maintaining that there is going to be no post-poll alliance with the BJP in an event of a situation that crops up. She's been very categorical about that. And then, of course, we have the Akhilesh and Rahul Gandhi alliance, the Congress SP alliance, which, of course, all eyes are on whether this actually can prove to be a fruitful one, considering the past about how things have been between Akhilesh's father, Mulayam Singh Yadav, at the moment as well, still very hesitant about accepting that the Samajwadi Party is in an alliance with the Congress. Things, of course, have not been rosy for the Samajwadi Party, but ever since the alliance has been formed, they have been going on about how this is going to be the correct formula for their victory in Uttar Pradesh. 4 phases have already been held, and like we said, campaigning is still on for the 5th phase of voting in Uttar Pradesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed an election rally in Gonda, and Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav also addressed 7 rallies, while his alliance partner and Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi held 3 campaign rallies. Here are the details.
Campaigning for the 5th phase of Uttar Pradesh Assembly Elections 2017 on Friday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a rally in Gonda. Invoking Lord Shiva on Mahashivratri, the Prime Minister said, with their third eye, people can see what is good for them and what is bad. Asserting his resolve to weed out corruption, Modi attacked the opposition, saying big forces are out to mislead the country. He urged the people of Uttar Pradesh to elect a BJP government with full majority. Also on the PM's target was the law and order situation in the state.
भाइयों बहनों, कोई भी डर जाए, इतना इन्होंने हमला बोला हुआ है, इतना झूठ फैलाया हुआ है, भ्रमित करने का प्रयास किया है, लेकिन मैं देशवासियों को सर झुका करके नमन करता हूं कि देश की जनता ने सच क्या है, ईमानदारी से देश की भलाई की कोशिश क्या है, उसका साथ पकड़ा है.
Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav attacked the BJP and the BSP in several rallies held in Ayodhya, Faizabad and Akbarpur districts. In a rally in Faizabad district, the Akhilesh lashed out at BJP's attempt to polarize voters. He said while the SP talks about giving laptops and smartphones to people, BJP is still trapped in the Kabristan versus Samshan debate. Akhilesh challenged Modi for a debate on the issue of development. He also accused the BSP of transferring its vote to the BJP in the Lok Sabha elections.
हम तो कहते हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी से कि अगर कोई काम की बहस करनी हो तो हम बहस करने के लिए तैयार हैं. बात उनकी सुन ली हमने रेडियो पे मन की बात, लोगों ने सुनी टीवी पे भी मन की बात, और हम समाजवादी लोग पूछ रहे हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी कब करोगे काम की बात, और अगर एक भी काम किया हो तो बता दो हमें. उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता ने सबसे ज्यादा लोकसभा के सांसद भेज दिए.
Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi also joined in his alliance partner SP in slamming the BJP for ignoring the farmers and the youth of the state. Addressing a crowd at a rally in Basti, Rahul asked voters to elect a government for the youth, farmers and the poor instead of those who spread only hatred. He also addressed rallies in Bahraich and Balrampur.
2 करोड़ युवाओं को रोजगार देने का वायदा किया. अब बताइए, पिछले साल नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार ने हिंदुस्तान में कितने युवाओं को रोजगार दिया? उनका मंत्री खड़ा होता है, कहता है कि साहब 2 करोड़ वायदा तो किया था, मगर सच्चाई ये है कि पिछले साल पूरे हिंदुस्तान में हमने एक व्यक्ति को रोजगार नहीं दिलवाया.
52 seats will go to polls in this phase on February 27th. The results will be announced on March 11th.
In last assembly elections in 2012, Samajwadi Party got 4 out of 5 seats in Faizabad. But in these elections, party is facing a difficult challenge because it's a triangular fight this time, and Bahujan Samaj Party is making it more difficult for Samajwadi Party. With cameraman Anirban, this is Shyam Sundar, Rajya Sabha TV, Faizabad.
In fact, Shyam Sundar is joining us now live from Faizabad. Shyam, like you pointed out, the BSP seems to be making things a bit tough for the Samajwadi Party, is at least the indication that we're getting But as you know, we are reaching towards the end, if you could say so, of this campaign trail, or end of the elections. You know, we are seeing a strategy change of the BJP back to the Ram Mandir issue, and we are also seeing a kind of a change in the Congress SP strategy as well, going out with personal letters, I'm told, to voters.
Yes, Tracy, if you talk about fifth phase, stakes are really high for Samajwadi Party. Last assembly elections in 2012, out of 52, Samajwadi Party got 38 seats in this region, and now Samajwadi Party is trying to hold its fort, and Akhilesh Yadav addressed almost 7 rallies today in Faizabad and Ambedkar Nagar, where in Ambedkar Nagar all 5 seats Samajwadi Party got in 2012, and in Faizabad, where I am standing now, this seat was with Bharatiya Janata Party for last 25 years, but in 2012, Samajwadi Party's candidate got victory here. So, and if you talk about the strategies, yes, and especially the local leaders of BJP, they are very aggressive, and they are trying to polarize the society before the elections in this phase. As far as Samajwadi Party is concerned, I was present in one of the rallies of Akhilesh Yadav. He is attacking Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but he is more sober in his speeches. He is challenging Narendra Modi to talk on work. He's challenging Narendra Modi on the issue of expressway. He is challenging Narendra Modi on metro or power supply in the state. So and he is also trying to tell his voters that Mayawati has given many Muslim candidates, but she is trying to divide the vote, and Akhilesh Yadav is also talking that in past Mayawati has gone with BJP, and there is no guarantee that after elections, if need be, she can again go with BJP. So in this phase, we are seeing more aggressive campaign by all the parties.
Absolutely, absolutely, Sham. And just talking about the BJP, this is one phase of these, you know, the eastern UP region is some area where they can actually establish back some control, isn't it?
It is very important for BJP to do well in this phase, and as I was telling you that on most of the seats in the Faizabad district, the fight is triangular, and the Bahujan Samaj Party has given a Muslim candidate in Ayodhya seat and another Rudrali seat where BJP got victory last time. So BJP is hoping that a bit of fight between Samajwadi Party and Bahujan Samaj Party, there may be a divide in minority votes especially, and there are some independent candidates also, which because as I told you, maximum seats were with the Samajwadi Party. So BJP is trying to gain in this triangular fight.
Absolutely. Can they take advantage of perhaps a confused voter? Is perhaps something that they are going to be looking out for. We leave there for the moment. Shyam, thanks so much for joining us. We'll come back to you through the evening, in fact, for more updates. Meanwhile, like we said, election fever in poll-bound UP reaching newer heights by each passing day. UP BJP chief Amit Shah, in fact, the national BJP president Amit Shah addressed 2 rallies in Deora and Azamgarh on Friday. Responding to former Delhi Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit's comments, Amit Shah targeted the Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi, calling him an immature person. He also asked Rahul Gandhi to state what his party has been doing for the last 60 years.
उत्तर प्रदेश के अच्छे दिन कब आएंगे? 11 मार्च को मतगणना होगी, सुबह 8 बजे मतगणना शुरू होगी, 9 बजे 10 राउंड समाप्त होंगे, 10 बजे 15 राउंड समाप्त होंगे, 12 बजे मतगणना समाप्त होगी, 1 बजे अखिलेश सरकार समाप्त हो जाएगी.
Meanwhile, Rajnath Singh, the defence minister, also addressed a rally in Gorakhpur in which he accused earlier governments of corruption. He also added that none of the BJP leaders had ever been accused of corruption.
चाहे अटल जी की सरकार का कोई मंत्री हो अथवा मोदी जी की सरकार का मंत्री हो, किसी के दामन पर कोई भ्रष्टाचार की दाग लगी हुई हो या कोई उंगली उठाकर नहीं करता. आप जानते हैं इस हकीकत को कि सपा और बसपा के मुख्यमंत्रियों पर भ्रष्टाचार के आरोप लगे. आय से अधिक संपत्ति के मामले को लेकर उनके खिलाफ FIR कर दी, CBI जांच चल रही है। लेकिन बहनों भाइयों, भारतीय जनता पार्टी, चाहे वो कल्याण सिंह जी रहे हों, जयराम प्रताप जी गुप्त रहे हों, अथवा मैं रहा, हम लोगों के दामन के ऊपर कोई भ्रष्टाचार का दाग लगाने की हिम्मत नहीं कर पाए।
And our correspondent Vishal Daya caught up with Congress's MP and party's campaign committee chairman Sanjay Singh, who spoke about the current alliance with the Samajwadi Party for the assembly elections in the state.
How has it changed the scenario for the Congress party, the tie-up with Samajwadi?
It is because the fundamental forces whom we wanted to stop in Uttar Pradesh, which is going to decide the fate of 19. So I think it was the right decision what we made at the 11th hour. Now this is the combined, this is the alliance which is going to win the election in 2017. And 2019 also we will take the decision and we will be the decisive force.
But there are some rough edges in this coalition still left out, and one specifically is in your turf only, when both candidates from Congress and Samajwadi Party are in the fray. So how is that going to play out specifically in Amethi, since it's your turf, it's your place?
Yeah, it is very clear that Congress had decided that rivalry in Amethi, all 10 Vidhan Sabha seats, the only Congress will fight. Unfortunately, it couldn't happen, but what the aim is not going to be forfeit, because the public of Amethi has decided the oust the corrupt present local MLA and a minister. I think it is decided and there is no confusion.
Can't resist asking this question. How about the third dimension in Amethi? Your ex-wife, she's now contesting from BJP. Must be a difficult choice for you, or it was already decided that you're going to campaign for the Congress?
You have seen from long time BJP is the divisive force, is always divides the people, divides community, divides the religion, and want to divide the country, but they will not succeed.
And now let's take a look at some other election-related developments in Polpuri. Police today recovered a hand grenade and a bomb from separate places in Manipur a day ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the state. The recovery comes even as 6 rebel groups in the state has given a call for a complete shutdown to protest against Modi's visit. The Prime Minister will address a rally at Langjing Achoba ground in Imphal district in support of the BJP candidates in the assembly polls. Manipur, which is officially a dry state, seems to be on a high though during electioneering, with huge amount of liquor being regularly seized by the excise department. Since the announcement of elections in Manipur on the 4th of January, enforcement agencies have seized more than 51 litres of IMFL and country-made liquor worth 57 lakh rupees during raids in different parts across the state. The Election Commission today ordered FIRs against 3 candidates in UP and 1 in Manipur after a TV sting showed them indulging in electoral malpractices. The Commission has directed poll authorities to issue show-cause notices to the candidates and lodge FIRs under various sections of the IPC for unfair practices. With that, we'll take a quick break here. We'll be back with more news in a bit. Stay with us.
Interdisciplinary science in the future will be one of our pillars on which this institute stands. The second infectious disease drug actually originated in India. UN Brahmachari's urease tibamine against Kalasa. But unfortunately, he is the unsung hero because we have never promoted him to that level.
Watch Eureka with Professor Siddharth Roy, Director of Bose Institute, Kolkata, only on Rajya Sabha Television.
Hemkund Sahib, sacred shrine of the Sikhs, widely acclaimed for being the highest in the world, located in the Himalayas at an altitude of 15,200 feet. The Gurudwara is designed with an image of an upside-down lotus flower.
Welcome back. Let's give you some more updates from across the country and nationwide now. The Indian Army paid its last respects to Lance Naik Ghulam Mohiuddin Rathar, who was killed in an encounter with militants in Shopian district. Rathar was among the 3 soldiers who were killed as militants ambushed a patrolling party of the army on Thursday. The mortal remains of him were flown to Anantnag district of Kashmir, where senior army officials paid tribute to him. The centre has sought a report from the Delhi University in connection with the violence at Ramjas College, which left many people injured. The report has been sought after clashes broke out between the All India Students Association and the Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, or the ABVP, students over opposition to an event involving JNU student Umar Khalid. Following the violence and alleged police manhandling, the Delhi police suspended 3 of its personnel and asked the crime branch to conduct a probe into the clashes. Ola and Uber drivers called off their 13-day strike yesterday after the Delhi government called a meeting with striking drivers and representatives from Ola and Uber. Thousands of drivers working with the 2 taxi aggregators had gone on an indefinite strike against low fares and lacking basic amenities that their employers provide them. Sarvodaya Drivers Association of Delhi, which claims to represent 1.5 lakh drivers in Delhi NCR, said that it has called off the strike till 27th of February as the app-based cab aggregators have sought time to resolve their issues. And now, in a shocking incident, an Indian techie was killed in US's Kansas City. The victim, a 32-year-old engineer from Hyderabad, and his colleague were shot at by a disgruntled American Navy veteran who shouted racial abuses. The Indian government has promised all help, in fact, to the grieving family. Here are more details.
A young Indian techie is the latest victim of a race crime in US Kansas City. 32-year-old Srinivas Kuchibhotla was shot dead by a former American Navy veteran. The 51-year-old shooter Adam Puritan opened fire at a crowded bar on Wednesday night as he yelled "terrorist" and "get out of my country." Kuchibhotla died of his bullet injuries in hospital, while his colleague Alok Madasini was critically injured. Hailing from Hyderabad, Kuchibhotla was employed with the US technology company Garmin's headquarters in Olathe. The attacker was caught 5 hours later in Missouri. Kuchibhotla's family is in shock. They are blaming Donald Trump for their loss.
We want the body to be here at the earliest. We are waiting. This certainly shows that ये दिखाता है कि Trump is only the prime reason as of now.
The family has also appealed to the government to take up the matter.
Government should voice out this strongly, because our brothers, sisters and our relatives are there, and if you really look into this incident, this is not done by a teenager or a burglar or something like that, a drug addict. It is done by a 55-year-old man.
Minister of External Affairs Sushma Swaraj reached out to the bereaved family and promised all help. The US Embassy in New Delhi has condemned the shooting. The United States is a nation of immigrants and welcomes people from all across the world to visit, work, study and live. US authorities will investigate thoroughly and prosecute the case, though we recognize that justice is small consolation to families in grief, unquote. The unfortunate incident is just one of the many such incidents taking place in the United States. Experts blame Trump's non-liberal approach to immigration policies as the reason behind this.
And this shows that there is a dangerous trend amongst some disgruntled people. The unfortunate part is that in the run-up to the election, the passions have been whipped up quite a bit against immigration and foreigners.
The Telangana government has promised all help to the family members of the victim. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And now let's head on to some cricket news. And Australia found themselves in the driver's seat on day 2, batting on 143 for 4 in the second innings. At close of day's play, India are trailing by 298 runs in the first test match in Pune. Resuming at an overnight score of 256 for 9 wickets, Mitchell Starc was finally dismissed on the 5th ball of the morning as the visitors were bowled out for 260 on Friday. Starc started with the bat before he was dismissed for 61 as India had their work cut out on a pitch that was turning square right from the first ball. Steve O'Keefe then rattled the Indian side with a 6-wicket haul as Australia bowled out the Indians for 105 runs. Stark was the standout performer for the Steve Smith-led side as they caught India napping on a spinner-friendly wicket. That's it on the news at 6. Thank you for joining us.